That's what we do. All righty. We are now live. Sip of water. What
Excellent.
part of the country are you in, Jerry?
San Diego.
Oh, we hate you.
We do
I
not.
know.
We hate that we're not there with him.
Well,
Right?
love
It would be so
Jerry.
much
Yeah, we
better.
love you, Jerry. We just hate our weather. How about that?
Wow.
I'll take that. That's for sure.
Yeah, but once spring
We're
comes,
actually getting some rain here, quite a bit, actually, more than we're you know we're usually prepared for. But I mean, we all need water. It's a desert, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just so you know, we have beautiful springs in the Midwest. So I'm
yeah.
always very grateful for springtime.
Yeah.
we
I
did
used to
spring.
live up in Massachusetts, and I
Oh,
would
wow.
I had daffodils planted in my yard, and it was one of the best things when I saw those daffodils start breaking through and starting to come up, because it was like, it's almost over. Just hang on a little bit longer, and the days will start to get longer, and you get more
Yes,
light. And
Exactly. All right. Are you ready, Jerry?
we're ready.
sure.
Here we
All
go.
right.
It's Good Health by Claudia, podcast and Facebook Live with me, Denny Schaefer, a production of Denny Radio. It's episode 21. Yay!
Yay.
All right, today we are talking about the power of mushrooms for our good health. Our guest, Jerry Angelini from Host Defense, Head of
Yes.
Education. Jerry, welcome to the Facebook Live.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you both.
Thank you for joining us today.
So where do you want to start, Claudia? You want to get right into it? You want to talk about Jerry's background?
Yeah, Jerry, you want to give us a little background? That'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been an integrative healthcare practitioner for over 30 years now. I have a master's of science in rehabilitation counseling. My history is with chronic illness, like psychiatric substance abuse, head trauma, just chronic disease. And I've been an integrative practitioner, so I've done both the Western as well as traditional ethnobotanical practices, traditional Chinese medicine. I've been an herbalist for years and years and years, studied with Rosemary Gladstar. What a bright star
wonderful.
she is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Michael and Leslie Tierra, both really
wonderful.
brilliant individuals. And then
Yeah.
I've been with Paul for the last 11, another just stellar person to be connected with and to really just complete my training and understanding of the fungal world along with the herbal world. So I feel really blessed in having such amazing influences in my ongoing, because we're always learning, right?
We're
So my
always learning.
ongoing education. So
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we're very grateful you're with us today, and
you took time out of your St. Patrick's Day, like we're doing. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm not sure if you celebrate.
I have some green tattoos, so I think I'm always celebrating a little bit of St. Patrick's Day.
We will trust you on that. I don't know if they're shamrocks, but that's between you and whoever. So where do you want to start?
So, all right. So I just want you to, let's go over real quick. When you said Paul, just talk about him for a few minutes, because we talked about the documentary on Netflix. Fungi, what's it called? Perfect Fungi.
Fantastic Fungi.
Yes, it's a great documentary. We're encouraging everybody to watch it.
Yeah, and even just the stop action or time lapse photography in there, it's so visually captivating.
Yes, it's beautiful.
And it has an amazing theme and context and a lot of great information. But, even if you watch it just for the visuals, to see this whole other world of the fungal kingdom, it's really a beautiful visual representation of beings that we share our planet with that most of us don't even think about. So
right. Yeah.
Is that the one on YouTube?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it is so amazing. You people don't understand how beautiful it really is, and to watch that is just amazing. All right, what do you got, Chloe?
Well, I just brought this. We showed it. I think we showed it last time, but here, if you show that, that's the Scamet 7. That's named after Paul's. This is his formulation. Is that correct? I mean, this is what he likes to. Yeah.
So Paul, he's been a mycologist for 40 some odd years. He's had Fungi Perfecti, which is the parent company, for just about as long. And Host Defense, the company that sells a lot of the products that are associated with the cultivation practices that Paul has developed over time. That's been around for over 13 years now. So he does have one product that's called Stamit 7, and it's 7 mushrooms, equal parts all together, for daily immune support and really whole body health and wellness. You've got cordyceps, you've got reishi, lion's mane, which a lot of people are talking about now, right? People love the smart mushroom. You've got chaga, which is also really well known, especially in the northern Midwest, the middle of the country, the northeastern aspects of the country, because it grows on birch and beech trees. You've got maitake, which is another really delicious edible mushroom. You've got agaricus blazei, which is technically another edible mushroom, and then mesima. So these 7 mushrooms, they hit your whole body. They hit like supporting your brain functioning and cognitive functioning, memory, mood. It supports heart health. It supports graceful breathing, exercise, muscle function, liver detoxification pathways. It supports digestion, even skin health. I mean, really, it pretty much gets everything in there.
So all of that is in this?
All of that is right in that box.
Wow, this is like a wonder mushroom.
Well, it's 7 wonder mushrooms together, right?
That's pretty awesome.
So when we had Tom on for our first interview, we did talk about chaga. We talked about lion's mane.
Yeah.
We talked about a couple others, but we're going to talk about reishi and maitake today. But I did bring lion's mane again so we could touch on it, because so many people are struggling with neuro issues, and this is such a wonderful product. So let's start there.
Yeah, so the scoop of the matter is that lion's mane supports neurological functioning, cognitive functioning, memory, and mood through potentially what we're thinking are a couple of different pathways. One, there's compounds that are found in the mycelium, which is the root-like structure of the mushroom, which we do a lot of focusing on at Host Defense. And that those compounds increase day-to-day nerve generative activity. So this is great. You don't have to be thinking about oh, I want to address this issue or that issue. You can just take it and support your day-to-day nerve generative activity. And I don't know about you, but at 55, I find that really helpful. Just you know. But if you're starting to forget where you put your keys and you want to bring a little bit of focus and attention into your life, and think about how can I support my brain and my memory, you can think about taking 2 or 3 grams of lion's mane mushroom a day, which is wonderful. And you can use the capsules. We got a powder canister out there.
I brought it. It's a wonderful, I love it. And it's great packaging, by the way. It looks very nice.
Right, it's super easy. You unscrew it, you get your teaspoon out, you measure a teaspoon, you put it in your food or your smoothie. That's 3 grams right there. And it's super cost effective. So that's one way, some of these compounds that are found in lion's mane. The other is that the mycelium and the fermented rice that's in there. So think fermented food. Okay. It's not a filler, it's not starch, it's fermented food. And the mycelium and the fermented food together, they support your immune response. And part of your immune system's job is to trigger really specific growth factors, one of which is called VEGF, which stands for vascular endothelial growth factor. And we know that the Host Defense lion's mane, mycelium, and fermented rice support this very specific growth factor process. And one of the jobs that VEGF has in our body is to support day-to-day nerve generative activity. So you're getting it from a couple of different directions. And so, like, the preliminary data is really very promising. We're still working on like human clinical trials to see, what other wonderful impacts it might have on people. But we definitely know that it supports cognitive functioning, memory, mood, neurological functioning, and immune health, which I think in today's world is a really important
Is
consideration.
very important. And that's why always through the years, and I'm sure you've been doing the same through the years, we're teaching people, get ahead of it. Don't wait for the crisis.
Yeah.
Get ahead of it. And that's the beauty of Nature's Pharmacy. There's so many beautiful tools to help us get ahead of these issues.
Right.
Of course, most people don't know the information, which is why
That's why we're here, people.
We're here.
That's why we're here.
Yes, and great people
Right.
like you and everyone in our industry that's really helping to raise the awareness, to get people to understand. You don't just have to look at man's pharmacy. Nature's Pharmacy is magnificent.
It really is. And, lion's mane's an edible mushroom, so it's food, and I like to remind people, it's like, let's think about food. What can we eat that can really optimize our body's functioning? And the mushrooms, like these mushrooms that, have been used for literally millennia, these are wonderful allies that we can bring in our day-to-day diet. Now, you can go out and purchase lion's mane mushroom fruiting body, and you can, cut it up and saute it and put it in your daily diet. I think that's great. Do that too. And you can also use the mycelium and the fermented rice, which is also fermented food, right? So mushroom food and fermented food, right?
Yes.
These things will help us. They're really wonderful for us.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Yes, wonderful. So, all right, next we're going to talk about reishi.
Yeah.
Can you show that?
Sure.
Oh, we have comments.
That's my job.
Reishi.
He's better at showing these products than I am. So
That's awesome. Reishi is also known as the imperial tonic, or well, let's stick with imperial tonic. It's a little early for me still. It's just about 8:15, so my brain hasn't kicked in yet. But we love
some of this powder. Put some of this powder in a smoothie, Jerry. And
I haven't had my morning smoothie yet. That's the thing. You got me so early. I haven't started yet.
Showtime, baby.
All right. I do a little intermittent fasting, so I don't eat until 10. So that's when my smoothie gets in me with my lion's mane. So
got it.
It's just water until then. But so the imperial tonic is really wonderful because when you look at all of the accumulated research and the cumulative research on reishi, it's extensive and mind-boggling. There are hundreds of research articles that have been published on reishi, and that includes both the fruit body and the mycelium. So we just like to remind people that it's really the whole mushroom. Like, don't necessarily listen to the marketing stuff out there that says one is better than the other. Like here at Host Defense, it's all good. Like it's all great stuff. So don't think that one is better than the other. It isn't. The mycelium that we use and that fermented rice, again, it supports basically immune modulatory activity. So what this means is when we really focus in on reishi is this is going to keep the immune system functioning in the Goldilocks zone. So not too low, like not too cold, not too hot, just right. It's, So think about Goldilocks when you're thinking about reishi, and it really helps our immune system function optimally no matter what's going on. And this can be really helpful because sometimes it's not working strong enough. Sometimes it's overacting, and that's as bad. Like we don't want an overactive immune response. And so reishi's benefit helps that immune system get into that Goldilocks and stay in that Goldilocks zone. So that's but other than that, it also supports cardiovascular health. So it increases the ATP formation. That's that energy molecule in our cells, right?
Yeah.
Specifically in cardiac muscle tissue, which is
Oh,
super
wow.
cool. It does support day-long energy, so we call it an adaptogen. It helps increase the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest function. So for
Yes.
people who are in that like A-type personality where their sympathetic nervous system gets fired up, reishi helps engage the parasympathetic nervous system. So it helps us feel a little bit more calm and more zen in our life. And this
We
can
need
be
that, Claudia. Me and Claudia need that.
right. Now, the great thing about it is it's not
I like
sedating
that.
for the most part. Like it doesn't make you fall asleep typically, but
Right.
it helps just like build that gentle energy with that calm, centered experience at the same time.
So does it address high cortisol levels?
So, there's some conflicting data on that. What the human clinical data we have on it, especially supporting balanced cortisol levels already within the normal range, right?
Right.
That research was done with cordyceps together with reishi.
Okay.
Um, and we do have a product. It's called Cordychi. It's half cordyceps and half reishi. So that's gonna like really support that adaptogenic activity. So you're only gonna take those during the day though, and that's really important, right? Especially cordyceps. It's a very energizing mushroom. You're not gonna take that at night. You might have trouble sleeping.
Maybe that's
Now,
it was in that
for
formula
some
that you tried.
people,
Was this the one? I don't think I took this though.
I'm sorry. I just want to ask Jerry, is cordyceps is in the my community
That's the one I was.
formula,
there is a
correct?
little in the My Community formula, so it's really best to take that during the day before 5 or
Yeah,
6.
Well, now, yeah, there we
I
go.
did though. I usually take my supplements unless it has to be on an empty stomach. I usually take it early in the morning and then I don't take any more. But it was jacking my
He
sleep.
couldn't sleep, so and it's a great formula, but that may have been who knows why, but
It
So
could be anything.
one of the things is all of these mushrooms over time build the constitutional energy in your system. In traditional Chinese medicine, they build qi, right, which is that energy in your body. So some people who are already really energized, if you take like a mix of mushrooms, they're going to like build that energy in your system. One of the great things about reishi, and this is one of the things that I really love about it, is I use reishi for the canary in the coal mine. So any of my sensitive people, right, that they react really profoundly to anything that's in their environment or they bring in. And like these are good people, like because like a little bit goes a long way with them, right? And so like I'll start them with reishi because they're just so reactive, and reishi like is that modulator, right? It kind of keeps everything balanced. It keeps the whole body in that beautiful zen state, right? But it gives that gentle energy. So I might have you try like one capsule of reishi in the morning for like a week or two and see how you do with that. And what you might find is that you may find that you actually sleep better at night because it helps your whole body, the imperial tonic, right?
yeah.
So it tonifies the whole body system. And
Mhm.
then over time, you in fact sleep better because your body is like generally in a better place to
Yes.
begin.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a couple of comments and a question here for those of you
Sure.
watching live. Put your questions or comments in the comment section. We'll get to them. Talented Artist says, I can't stop talking about the great impact of mushrooms and how they've impacted my life. It actually saved me from depression and anxiety. Also, I'm finding a lot of happiness.
Nice. Beautiful.
Stephanie says,
Yeah.
Good morning. I tried the Lion's Mane coffee this morning and it's
Oh,
not bad.
it's not bad, right?
I could definitely use some cognitive help.
Yeah.
So you brought some, did you bring some?
Well, I grabbed because that's the lion's mane. We brought in the boxes and they flew out. So we've got the little one that I brought.
That
So-
stuff is great.
Stephanie, I'm glad you're experiencing that. It's a great product.
Now, for people who aren't coffee fans, there's the matcha. Don't forget that. There's the matcha green tea. And then my personal favorite is the hot cocoa. I have that
I
almost
brought them
every day.
all.
I love that stuff. So it's got chocolate, it's got a little bit of coconut sugar in there, right? And then it's got the lion's mane. It just doesn't get, and I think there's like a pinch of sea salt in there to help with the flavor a little bit.
So
This
in
stuff is
all,
delicious.
sorry, but in all these, there's lion's mane. That's the one
All of them
herb.
have lion's mane, the
Okay.
matcha and the coffee have lion's mane too. Now, the key with this to make it taste really great is you only use 6 ounces of water, right? So if you use 8 or 12 ounces, it's going to be really diluted. So 6 ounces of water per packet, that's where you're going to get your optimal flavor. You know, if you want a bigger mug, use 2, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Pop in too.
Yeah. No, that's nice products that you guys brought out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm a big coffee fan, so I'll be trying this, Claudia.
Yeah, try
Thank you.
that.
Good.
Okay. Anything else about that?
Not
Anything
about that.
Okay.
Did we miss a question or a comment? I thought
No,
you
I
said
think
you.
No, Stephanie said that's the one she bought.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Wonderful.
So back to reishi, like it really, like I for people that tend to, have, significant responses to even small amounts, start with 1 capsule of the reishi, and that's a really great place to start. And then see how you do after a couple of weeks. And then if you're feeling pretty good and you want to add another, have a capsule at lunchtime. I personally like breaking it up a little, just because it keeps that stuff in your digestive tract, so you get more out of it as you go through your day. And many people find that if they do half of their mushrooms in the morning and half at noon, they like power through their full day and their afternoon, and they even have a little bit left over in the evening. And that can be super helpful too, right? Now, some people want to have it 3 times a day. Don't take it after dinner though. Like mushrooms, they will start building energy. Now, some people have said, well, I've taken reishi at night and it's helped me sleep. Let me give you the skinny on that. Usually what happens is they'll take reishi at night and it'll help them sleep for about 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. And then they report waking up in the middle of the night, not knowing what's going on. That reishi has helped energize their system. And then what happens is they wake up because they're energized, right? So drop that reishi back into the beginning part of your day so that you have that beautiful energy during the day. And then you'll still probably get, it may take a couple of days to switch over, right? But then you'll sleep well at night.
Good to know. Thank you. That's good
Yeah.
because we have so many people coming in. I mean, we've had mushrooms for years. And of course, as research advances, we're, educating more on this and that. But, people will come in and if they've never taken a mushroom, sometimes we don't quite know where to start them.
Yeah.
So
I start with my edibles like reishi, lion's mane, or maitake, which we're going to talk about, or I start them with reishi, right? Unless they're pretty hardy people and they just want a whole body support, then I go right for stem at 7, right?
Okay.
But if you've got a person that has just a reactive system, good or bad, it doesn't matter. They're just
right.
They know when stuff happens, right?
Yes.
Start them with one, like the lion's mane or the reishi,
Which is
or
what we do, not knowing where,
So when I tell people I take mushrooms, there's a stigma involved with mushrooms. I always go, oh, are those the magic mushrooms? Schaefer, are you on the magic? I'm like, no, but do you have any? So how do you get past the stigma of people that think mushrooms are like only for like dopers?
Yeah, so part of that is just cultural awareness, and we do a lot of education around that. And it's like we just remind people that not all herbs are marijuana, not all mushrooms are psilocybins, right? So
Right.
it depends on what you're taking. Like we focus because we're a supplement company, right? We can only use the ones that don't create that hallucinogenic experience. So like those are controlled substances in the United States, right? There's a lot of beautiful research that's ongoing with that. Definitely check it out. There's a lot of great information coming out. But at Host Defense, we just use the beneficial ones. We're not using the
You're
hallucinogenics,
not
right?
breaking the law.
Right.
That's a good thing.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
All right,
Yeah. And
Amy,
that's,
go ahead.
yeah. I said that's basically how we address it. It's just like,
Okay. Amy says, I'm currently taking turkey tail and it's great
Yeah.
for me. I'm not a coffee fan, so glad to know you have green tea. I love teas,
Yeah,
Amy.
yeah.
Amy, go to Claudia's today. Pick some up. They have it.
yeah. And I just want to say, in regard to your question, I mean, everything we do, that's the importance of education, right? We're clarifying, we're speaking truth, we're sharing this age-old knowledge, whether it's about mushrooms or any herbal medicine, really. So education is everything. It all comes down to how much does an individual truly understand the conversation they're having. They're asking about.
My guess would be about 2%.
I mean, if that, I mean, it's interesting, Jerry. A lot of, the people I know in the industry, and we used to talk about what percentage of people do you think used to walk into health food stores back in the 60s, the 70s. And, we all think if we're lucky, maybe 3% of the nation. And, what are your thoughts? I mean, now it's different, even though now you've got information overload and people don't understand what all the information is. So how many, I mean, it's just an interesting conversation looking at.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been a growth. And part of that is, a lot of our health food stores also have an online presence, right?
Yeah.
And so what people will do is they may not have a local health food store that they're even familiar with, but they're really familiar with getting online and looking up products and things like that, and reading information. We got to be careful, right? Those blogs, like you never know what's going to come to you in a blog, right?
Yes.
So we want to be careful about all of that. We want to have like trusted sources of information.
Yes.
Google Scholar, like scholar.google.com. That's a great place for abstracts. PubMed.gov, another excellent source for abstracts. And then, you find your trusted information sources out there that reference articles that have been peer reviewed, that have been researched, or people that have like a tremendous amount of history in the industry itself too.
I mean, the hands-on experience. I'm grateful for the hands-on experience. It's something that people working in health food stores. I mean, we were the ones that really started the whole thing in the United States, right? Health food stores and chiropractors were the first into nutrition. So a lot of people have some wonderful experience.
Yeah. And I love sending people to their local health food store because you're interacting with a person who's typically, like, especially nowadays, like, our seasoned elders have stuck around. Like the younger ones, not so much. It was a tough couple of years there, right? But our seasoned elders, a lot of us have stuck around. And if you kind of like connect in with our elders in the community in the natural products industry, there's a wealth of information and wisdom, like right there in front of you. And like you ask your questions and we can provide people with these like pearls of wisdom, right? And
I'm not sure, but I think Jerry just called you old. There's a lot of talk about wisdom in there, and she's been doing a long time. But here's the thing:
we prefer the term elders. Thank you.
That's it. That's elders. That's here's the thing, though. I want to say about the internet, because everybody, the internet says this, because I have this battle going with a buddy of mine because I told him I eat to my blood type. He goes, "Oh, that's a bunch of crap." I'm just like, dude, I've dropped 19 pounds since January 1st. I feel better than I've ever felt. Claudia is carefully having me on different supplements, including mushrooms. Lion's mane is one of them. And here's the thing that you don't get with the internet. If you can read all you want, but until you go face to face with Claudia at her store, she can't ask you the questions that you can't ask a screen. And she can, because of your diet or how you sleep or what meds you might be on, there, you don't get that. You can only get it when it's face to face. So you're spot on. And I don't think people really realize that. Well, I read it on the internet, so I just got it and it's not doing anything for me. This stuff doesn't work.
Right.
I think it's a great jumping off point, but get into a store with our people who know it, that can, like you're saying, ask those questions, dive a little bit deeper, share their experience.
But there's wonderful independent stores all over the United States, and we always encourage people. They have the experience and they have the heart. They have the heart and soul. And again, Western medicine has a place, but it's fair to say they're getting into an area where they don't always have their heart and soul. Right. They're getting into it for other reasons. People that do what we do, we're there because we believe in it and our heart is wrapped around it. And I'm very grateful. But I just want to say one other thing to your point about the eat right for the blood type. You can always tell when you're talking to somebody that really doesn't know the subject matter, right? Because right away they're going to say, oh, that's quackery. Oh, that's this. Oh, well, when you truly know the subject matter, and I always tell people this is a skill. It's a skill that we've learned over the years. It's an important skill. We're not just sitting around whatever people think we're doing in health food stores. We study, we learn, we learn from people like you. I mean, there's so much knowledge to be had. So
it's true.
All right, let's talk about this
so anyway,
because we're running out of time.
So next we're going to do maitake.
Maitake. This is a great edible mushroom. We really focus on two things about maitake. One is it supports immune functioning, and we've been using it in this country for about 25 years like that. We've focused in on its support for the immune response. It also supports glycemic balance, and this is really, really important in our world today. I mean, think of all the sugar we take in every day. It's crazy the amount of sugar we have, and it's hidden all over the place. It's, and part of that is on us to be more conscious and aware and make different choices about sugars. And it can be hard. I got a sweet tooth, and I have to tell you, it's a challenge for me, right? But I also love the way maitake can support that blood glucose levels already within the normal range, and can help that insulin sensitivity again already within the normal range, but also that glycemic balance in general. And I think maitake is best to take with food, right? Because that's when you're going to get that flux of glucose through your liver, right? When you're digesting your food. And so take a capsule or two, and you can take a capsule with breakfast and one with lunch and one with dinner. Again, don't take it too late at night. It's a mushroom. Over time, it'll build energy. But this is one of the gentlest of the energy builders. So lion's mane and maitake are really the gentlest of those energy builders. So if you want to take one with dinner, you can, or maybe a half an hour before dinner, as long as it's not too late. But this is a great way to help with that glycemic balance. And we do have another product. I don't know, do you carry the blood sugar product?
No, we don't, but
that's okay.
Maybe we should.
Maitake all on its own is really brilliant. And so you can do the capsule, or you can do the liquid with maitake too. It's a really great way. I'm sick and tired of the capsules. Do a dropper of the maitake with your meals. You're good to go. It'll really help your body process sugars in a more balanced way, and that's really what we're trying to do, right? Yeah. We're trying to help our body digest and absorb and then process our nutrients in an optimal manner. And this is really in a lot of ways what our mushrooms can help us do.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Good. All right. Okay. One last quick question. Just one last question.
Okay.
In regard to any categories of pharmaceuticals, are there any contraindications with any of the mushrooms to any particular meds?
Yeah. So if you're on any kind of blood thinner, you're going to be careful with reishi. That's the one that you're going to be careful with. If you're on a lot of medications, we want you to work with a qualified integrative healthcare practitioner, just to make sure that as you're starting a new protocol with your supplements, that everything is still flying pretty well with the rest of your system. So, you know, and that happens as we get older. We tend to accumulate medications for this or that or the other thing. And even if we're using supplements to optimize our health, right, we might still need to use medications too. And just you want to keep on target with your practitioner, whether it's a doctor or naturopath or an acupuncturist or something like that. You know, they know the typical blood tests to run, like liver enzymes and your blood sugars and all that kind of stuff, your WBCs, your RBCs, like your, you know, your full blood
Yeah,
count,
right,
things of that
right.
nature. And they'll let you know if anything's out of range, you know, and if nothing's out of range, then you're doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Jerry Angelini, thank you so much from Host
Thank you.
Defense. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you
You're
so
most
much.
welcome. It's always a
Enjoy-
pleasure.
Enjoy that rain in San Diego. We're
Yeah,
really
thanks.
jealous of you.
Yeah, right. And I hope spring springs over there for you.
Spring is springing, man.
Monday, it's here. We should hit 60 next week. That's a big deal around these parts. We hit
It
60.
is.
I'll be 65 next week. You know, I always say,
Woo, happy
we're not getting
birthday.
thank you. We're not getting older, we're getting wiser.
We
That's
are.
it.
I'm
what
in
I would say.
April. I'm
That's
at
what
the
an elder
beginning of
would say.
April, so it's nice.
You
It's
what?
nice to see another Aries. I'm at the beginning of
Actually,
April.
I'm a Pisces.
You're right
I'm
on the
spring
edge.
equinox, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I do have Aries in me. So at any rate, anyway,
Excellent.
many blessings to you, Jerry. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jerry.
And
Blessings.
you
Be
guys are
well.
doing a great job. And when you see Paul, give him a hug from me, will you?
Definitely will.
And Tom too. Thank you. Many
For sure.
blessings.
Thank you.
All right.
That's good stuff.
That's
As
good
always, I tell you, I get so excited when we do this, and I look forward to our times together on Friday. Those of
Me
you
too.
watching
Thank you.
on Facebook Live, please share the videos, get the word out, get that information out there, get it to people, bring them in, because it's going to change people's lives. It's changed mine, and of course, we know it's changed yours and so many people. So, like always, Claudia,
Well,
I'll give you the last word. Do we have anything we want to talk about for next Friday, or are we just?
Next Friday, I'm waiting for. I'm not sure yet.
We may have a guest next week.
We may have a guest next week.
And it could just be Claudia in full force, which I love.
Well,
and anyway, like always, I'm giving you the last word.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. But again, it's always going to say the same message. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Put your kindness out there. A lot of people just need simple kindness. Kindness, that simple gestures, simple kind words can go a long way. So anyway, shine your love and keep the faith. And we appreciate you being with us. Thank you. Peace.